The foramens in the cranial cavity. In the cranial cavity, interior of the cranial cavity has got three fossas: the anterior cranial fossa, the middle cranial fossa, posterior cranial fossa. Each of these fossa is like a depression, like a steps of a ladder. In the anterior cranial fossa will be sitting the frontal lobe. The frontal lobe of the brain will be sitting in the anterior cranial fossa. In the middle cranial fossa, exactly in the middle of the middle cranial fossa, pituitary lobe will be there. In the posterior cranial fossa, upper portion, the temporal and occipital lobe, it's above the tentorium cerebelli. Below that, in the posterior cranial fossa, the brainstem will be there and cerebellum will be there. So posterior cranial fossa occupies majority of the brain. The parietal lobe is close to the wall or the skull cap. That is the first thing. So let us see what is the foramens present in the anterior cranial fossa. So in the anterior cranial fossa, there is one foramen in the middle. It's formed by the cribriform plate of ethmoid bone. Olfactory nerve, the first cranial nerve, passes through the roof of the nose through this foramen. That is cribriform plate of ethmoid bone. It will pass around 20 to 30 bundles. Next foramen is optic foramen. As the name suggests, optic nerve will pass. In addition to optic nerve, ophthalmic artery will pass through this foramen called as optic foramen. Sometimes this foramen has got length. It's called as optic canal. The next one is not a foramen. It's a deep cleft. In the orbit, if you see the orbit from front, this is how it looks. There are two fissures, the superior orbital fissure and the inferior orbital fissure. Both are in the form of figure of V shape, but the superior orbital fissure structures passes. Inferior orbital fissure is covered by fascia periorbita or the connective tissue covering. Okay, only emissary vein can pass through inferior orbital fissure. This superior orbital fissure is between lesser wing of sphenoid and the greater wing of sphenoid. So this is a deep cleft. It's called superior orbital fissure. In this common tendinous ring, the upper and lower division of third cranial nerve or the oculomotor nerve passes. In the superolateral compartment, the fourth cranial nerve or the trochlear nerve passes. Between the two divisions and lateral to this, the abducent nerve, which causes abduction or lateral movement, that will pass. And the ophthalmic nerve later divides into three nerves, that is lacrimal and frontal, will pass through this area, superolateral area. Nasociliary nerve, it passes through the intermediate compartment. Just tell ophthalmic division. Superior orbital fissure, four nerve passes. The oculomotor nerve, third cranial nerve. Trochlear nerve, fourth cranial nerve. Fifth cranial nerve, trigeminal nerve, only one division, ophthalmic division. Sixth cranial nerve or the abducent nerve. These are the structures passing through superior orbital fissure. Next, coming to the middle cranial fossa. The middle cranial fossa is mainly formed by the body of sphenoid bone and the greater wing of the sphenoid bone. So it will be like a butterfly. So body of sphenoid bone, pituitary gland will be there. We'll keep it aside. There is one foramen posterior to this area, posterior to this optic foramen and superior orbital fissure. That is called as foramen rotundum. It is rounded in shape, therefore it's called like this. Maxillary division of trigeminal nerve passes through that. There is one foramen posterior and lateral to this foramen rotundum. It is egg shape or oval shape, so we call it as foramen oval. Male passes through this. If you write like that, I will give 0 marks. But male contains following expansion: mandibular nerve, accessory meningeal artery, lesser petrosal nerve, emissary vein. So these are the four structures for the acronym called as male: mandibular nerve, accessory meningeal artery, lesser petrosal nerve, emissary vein. If there is something called accessory meningeal artery, that is something extra. That means there is a main artery for the middle cranial fossa. It's called middle meningeal artery. This middle meningeal artery will pass us through a foramen which has got a small spine next to it, therefore called as foramen spinosum. Middle meningeal artery. When there is artery, there should be a nerve. Middle meningeal nerve. Fancy name, nervus spinosus. Another foramen is there. It has got ragged edges. It's called foramen lacerum. It is there at the apex of pitras part of temporal bone in the junction between the body and the greater wing of sphenoid. Foramen lacerum. Through this, nothing important structure passes. It's covered by cartilage. Some emissary vein may pass, but the carotid canal will be opening above this foramen lacerum. So ICA or the internal carotid artery may pass in the upper part of the foramen lacerum. Next, coming to the posterior cranial fossa, you can see the pitras part of temporal bone. In the posterior cranial fossa, there is one foramen which is in line with the external auditory canal. In your ear, you will remove wax, no? That is external auditory canal. At the same line, there will be one more canal on the inside, 1 centimeter in length. In the pitras part of temporal bone, it's called as internal acoustic canal. In this internal acoustic foramen or internal acoustic canal, 7th cranial nerve passes, that is facial nerve. 8th cranial nerve, of course, vestibulocochlear nerve, because it is going to the inner ear, which contains vestibule and cochlea. So 8th cranial nerve is definitely there. The inner ear is also called labyrinth. So the artery supplying that is called labyrinthine artery. So internal acoustic foramen, 3 structures passes: 7th cranial and 8th cranial nerve, and one artery called as labyrinthine artery. 7th cranial nerve will not end here. It will emerge out of the stylomastoid foramen and split up into 5 branches to supply the face. That you know already. Next foramen will be this foramen, which is posterior and more deeper edge, junction between pitras part of temporal bone and the occipital bone. A sigmoid sinus, sigmoid sulcus depression, which is S-shaped, will end up in this foramen. It's called as jugular foramen. Obviously, it's called jugular foramen for a reason, because internal jugular vein will be the content of that. So therefore, it's called as jugular foramen. This internal jugular vein receives one sinus, which is at the lower edge of the pitras part of temporal bone. Therefore, it's called as inferior petrosal sinus. Between the inferior petrosal sinus and internal jugular vein, like a kebab mahdi, there will be three nerves: 9th, 10th, and 11th. Glossopharyngeal, vagus, and spinal accessory nerve will leave the cranial cavity through jugular foramen. 9th, 10th, and 11th cranial nerve. Come to the next foramen. In front of the occipital condyle, there will be one foramen. It is called as anterior condylar foramen. Through this foramen, it's also called as hypoglossal foramen, because hypoglossal nerve passes through this, which supplies the muscles of the tongue. It is called as anterior condylar foramen because it is in front of the occipital condyle, also called as hypoglossal foramen. Last but not the least, the major foramen is called as foramen magnum. It's the largest foramen in the skull, therefore called as foramen magnum. It has got anterior compartment, which is osseo-aponeurotic, meaning bone and connective tissue fibers are there. Posterior compartment, neurovascular, because nervous tissue and blood vessels will be there. In the anterior osseo-fibrous compartment passes tip of the odontoid process of axis, apical ligament and alar ligament of the axis, and upper band of cruciate ligament and membrana tectoria, if you can remember that. In the posterior neurovascular compartment mainly passes the medulla oblongata, lower part of the medulla oblongata will pass. Spinal accessory nerve enters the cranial cavity through this foramen. Vertebral arteries joins together to form basilar artery at this level. The vertebral artery realizes it didn't supply the spinal cord, so gives anterior spinal artery and posterior spinal arteries. They will go and end up supplying the spinal cord. So these are the structures which are present in the posterior cranial fossa, the foramens and the contents. So ultimately the cranial cavity has got many foramens, but in order, if you remember, the cribriform plate of ethmoid bone, first cranial nerve will pass, that is olfactory nerve. Optic foramen, second cranial nerve will pass, that is optic nerve. In the superior orbital fissure, 4 cranial nerves will pass. The third oculomotor nerve, the fourth cranial nerve or trochlear nerve, fifth cranial nerve only one division, ophthalmic division of trigeminal nerve, sixth cranial nerve or the abducent nerve. Through the foramen rotundum and foramen ovale, the two other divisions of trigeminal nerve will pass, the maxillary division and the mandibular division. Okay, so we have finished till fifth cranial nerve. So sixth is over here, which supplies the lateral rectus muscle of the eyeball, which helps in abduction. So sixth is over till here. So from here onwards, posterior cranial fossa will be there. So first 6 cranial nerves in the anterior and middle cranial fossa. Next 6 cranial nerves in the posterior cranial fossa. We will see that here. Internal acoustic canal. Through this 7th and 8th cranial nerve passes. Facial and vestibulocochlear nerve will pass. Jugular foramen 9, 10 and 11 will pass in the jugular foramen. 9th will go forward to supply the tongue. 10th descends down to supply GAT. 11th goes behind to supply sternocleidomastoid and trapezius. Anterior condylar foramen, hypoglossal nerve, the 12th cranial nerve will pass. Therefore, it's also called as hypoglossal canal. So this is 1 to 12th cranial, first to 12th cranial nerve passing through different foramens through cranial cavity.